Well guys, good luck, and I'm replying to comments again. See what we got today. Mr. BeholdMyStrength says, dude, you do know that there's a thing called lock-on, right? Makes keeping the enemy in focus a lot easier, dodging attacks and actually attacking is made so much easier with this. Is there some particular reason you're not using this? Because 35 videos in, approximately 30 minutes apiece, the game has thrown the ability to lock on in your face by now. So yet another person questions my decision to lock on, and I look back at my replies to comment 3 and I realized that I didn't go in much detail. I kinda just begun ranting about Dark Souls 2 in general, but I kind of forgot to answer the main question. Why do I not lock on? So I'm gonna answer it here, now. So I made the choice to not lock on in Dark Souls 2 before I even started playing. This is because I played through Dark Souls 1 without locking on once. That one time obviously doesn't count because it was irrelevant. So I thought to myself, you know what? I didn't need to lock on in Dark Souls 1. Surely I will not need to lock on in Dark Souls 2 either. It doesn't seem like such a long stretch of reasoning, right? It's the second game in the series. Third if you count Demon Souls, but I don't know, I haven't played that, so I can't comment on that. It doesn't seem unreasonable. I mean, I did play through the first game without locking on. Makes sense that I could play through the second game as well. So I made that choice, and that's what I did. I played without locking on. Now obviously Dark Souls 2, how to put it nicely, is not exactly like Dark Souls 1. You could say it's like Dark Souls 1, but terrible. Like really terrible version of Dark Souls 1. Where most of the mechanical changes to me feel like bugs rather than design choices. So I don't find it strange that you would question my decision to continue not to lock on, despite the fact that locking on seems to be almost mandatory in certain situations, in the majority of them. But the thing is, man, I can't lock on, because the moment I lock on, the moment that I do that, I will forfeit whatever still good things I could possibly say about the game. Like, when I finish Dark Souls 2, eventually, I wanna say to myself, and maybe in the video as well, you know, what a great game that was. Right now, you know, I can't say that with a straight face. I can, at best, hope that, you know, I'm going to be able to say something along the lines of, well, at the start it was terrible, but at some point it became really amazing, and it was totally worth like 500 deaths in the terrible parts of the game to get to the amazing parts. Still, I want to be able to say that when I finish the game. But if I lock on at least once, you know, that just won't be true. I won't be able to say it. It will be just a false statement and a lie, which is really just a false statement, so I'm just being redundant. It's important for me, man. I like Dark Souls games in general. I enjoy the combat in them and many other things. This lock-on thing, the not using human effigies thing, things like that are what still, you know, give me hope that there is something good to Dark Souls 2. Because I'm still capable of actually defeating these bosses without doing those things. But if that ceases to be the case, or if I give in to random demands from random people, such as the Stee Justice. It's not gonna be the case. To put it bluntly, you know, the moment I lock on in this game is when I've given up on it being an actual game. It just will become a pile of shit. That's it. That's what it will become. So don't ask me to lock on, because you're essentially asking me to say Dark Souls is a pile of shit. It might be a pile of shit. I don't know. I haven't finished the game yet. But certainly, I'm willing to give it my best shot, to give it a chance. And that's why I'm not locking on, and I'm not going to lock on unless it becomes impossible to get through the game without locking on, which I doubt will be the case. I hope this has made it clear as to why I don't do it. If you still don't understand, well, feel free to ask me again and I'll try to explain whichever part is too difficult. You know, I've gone through this at the back of my mind like a lot of times, and consistently I would just digress into a rant about Dark Souls 2, but I'm hoping that this is relatively concise and you get my point. Alright, enough of the gloomy talk. Let's see what Mr. Green3Eagle has to say. Good job. Congratulations. I think the phantom shots your character is taking is because the stamina was too low when you triggered the shot. So the game waited for enough stamina to regenerate and then it shot the arrow you asked it to a couple of seconds earlier. Anyway, welcome back and enjoy the victory. Thank you, man. It was actually quite an enjoyable victory because I ended up defeating her even though, you know, at a glance it seemed like it was so random and impossible. But no, it wasn't. So I did get to enjoy the victory. Regarding the phantom shots, I think I kind of figured out what was happening towards the end there. Basically, the attacks have a tendency to actually queue up. I don't know what exactly is the prerequisite for an attack to queue up. For example, it doesn't queue up after a dodge. If I dodge and I could spam the button all day long, it's not gonna shoot. However, if you spam the button while you're shooting, it does seem to queue up the next shot if you attack during the last shot. So let's say I want to shoot twice, but I spam the button and I hit the button at least once during the second shot, then that button click will queue up and you will have a third shot. I'm not really tested for this or anything, but that's my theory on what is happening. The reason I don't think it's with the stamina thing is because I was always watching my stamina bar when I was shooting, and I always have enough stamina for 3 shots. And most of the time, the phantom shot was the third shot, which I would have had enough stamina to do. I think Dark Souls 1 had something similar, but it was much more loose. It queued up attacks, but for a very small time frame, not like massive time frame like in Dark Souls 2, where you have to stop spamming like way before you're done. Anyway, that's it for the comments today. Thank you for watching and I'll see you laters.